get into the team and really start developing.
As you look at the starting lineups for Terre Haute North, they will go with Nolan White at guard, 5'7" freshman. Tyler Young is number 14, 5'11" junior. Mark Hankins is a 6'2" freshman, number 22. 32 is Ethan Knott, 6'1", sophomore. And then Dylan Engel is number 50, a 6'1" sophomore, and Anton Allen, the coach for Terre Haute North. Now for Bloomington North, they're actually going to go with Cade Loffman, 6'3", junior, as a forward. Zach Rager, 6'5", sophomore, number 43. As you see, Marco Fitch, 5'11", freshman, number 10. Colin Weeger, 6'1", junior, is number 12. Then you'll see Nate Toohill, 5'11", sophomore, had a good game against Columbus East, shooting the lights out from outside. And then Cade Loffman, 6'3", junior, been told that he's going to dress varsity tonight for the first time. And then Zach Rager, the 6'5", sophomore, in the middle. For Jabril Conte is, of course, I've mentioned, one of 11 players to have an All-Indiana All-Star jersey hanging on this wall here at Bloomington High School North. 9 guys, 2 girls, and he is one of those players. 97 state champion, last one-class state champion in Indiana, and of course got a lot of, that was the time year I graduated, so I've got a lot of stories about that state championship team and everything surrounding it, and hope to get to share a little bit of that here later on in the broadcast. As we're getting set to go here, glad you can join us, our final broadcast of this regular season. So sit back and enjoy Terre Haute North in the blue, Bloomington North in the white, and of course with both schools having the name North in their name, I've got to make sure I differentiate tonight. So
it's true. Even talking about both teams coming out, seeing how hard they play defense, how fast their offense is, how well-oiled their offense is, because, it's important. In these JV games, you can get pretty much anything. You can get, a very bad JV team that isn't coached well, is more of just for the players who just want to play, or you can get, as we talked about, Bloomington North being a team that's kind of a development JV team that you put players on there to get better.
And he's going to get called for the travel. That's Dylan Engel. As Terre Haute North traditionally is not a team, they're a half-court team. They don't push the tempo. So it's going to be interesting to see how, especially in the varsity, because Bloomington North likes to run, it's really going to be interesting to see how Terre Haute North responds to that and how if they control the tempo. As Toohill puts the runner in the lane and the Cougars are on the board.
And as we saw last week, it's the full court press coming out again. Let's see how Terre Haute North is able to deal with this.
And it's going to be an over and back on Tyler Young.
And you saw there, too, he caught the ball in a bad position. He was already over the line, and he got trapped. And so they used the line as their friends, and that's just, that's a recipe for disaster. Whenever you want that full court press, you definitely only want to cross it once you kind of know you have enough room to work with and aren't going to get trapped too hard.
This is Marco Fitch with the ball. Loffman to Toohill. Nice move to the basket for Toohill, and he scores his 4th point. Going inside tonight instead of settling for the outside shots.
Absolutely. It's just completely different than what we saw last week. Again, another inside basket.
That was a good feed from Fitch into Cade Loffman, and Terre Haute North has seen enough, and they're going to take a quick 30-second timeout.
It doesn't seem like they knew what they were going to do with that full court press there, because even their inbound seems pretty compact. There's not really too much expansion or stretching the team. But Bloomington North at the same time are just on an attacking frenzy right now. They're not really giving Terre Haute North any chance to take a break.
Yeah, their JV losses this season come against Center Grove, 62-28, Evansville North 50-35, and Bloomington South 41-33. Again, on a big win streak. They've only got 3 more games after this one Columbus North next Friday on the road, home against Floyd Central next Saturday, and then New Albany in 2 weeks.
And we just saw there was a pickup of the dribble, and especially whenever you're in a situation of a full court press, it's just not something you want to do. You immobilize yourself in that instance, and it just, makes the play almost dead all of a sudden. Luckily, he was able to get a pass out, and now we're looking at an offensive set.
So Terre Haute North going to reset their offense. 7-minute quarters here in Varsity or JV. There's a nice feed inside from Young to Ethan Knott, and Terre Haute North on the board.
So look for that point guard press too. That seems to be a tactic that Terre Haute North is using.
Good feed inside to Cade Loffman. I'll tell you, Bloomington North, who loves to settle for the outside, they are attacking Terre Haute North inside. As you see Loffman with the hustle play, and then Colin Weegar able to get the ball and score.
Yeah, it's the Terre Haute coach is not looking too happy down there as he's seen his team just struggling against this press. And again, down there with the basket Bloomington North just scored, they attacked that same point that they just scored a few moments ago.
10-2 lead for the Cougars. Coach Conte must have seen one on film how they can attack Terre Haute North defensively with the press. I think Bloomington North is quicker than Terre Haute North, it looks like, from what I've seen so far. As you see Fitch going to Loffman, gets it back out to Fitch. Rager, but in the passing lane was Dylan Engel.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
So now Terre Haute North with it. Just under 3.5 to go here in quarter number 1. This is Nolan White, number 11. And if you see Bloomington North giving no space right there, although Engel just gets a little space to knock down that shot.
You just see the intensity coming down the floor Bloomington North has compared to Terre Haute. It's just a completely different brand of basketball. It's not calculated or cool as much. It's more, ferocious and attacking. And that's the same on defense that we've seen so far. However, it can catch them out if they're a little too aggressive, where they end up going past the ball or overshooting or selling themselves out a little too much for a move, and that could negatively affect them on defense.
Zach Rager at the line, 6'5", sophomore. He's done a good job. He moves very well and passes very well for a big man. He's able to get out. He's able to use his ability to pass out to the perimeter to find the open man.
And I was always a big man, labeled a big man, and whenever you're labeled a big man, you're not expected to do too much. So other than get rebounds and maybe get the occasional point, so it's a good job to have if you can get some rebounds.
There is Nolan White blocked inside. Last touch by Bloomington North will be Terre Haute North ball. And
you gotta love that determination in there. Although you could kind of tell from all the hands up, you could barely. I don't think the ball was above their wrists. So that was a very hardcore play. Seems like a hard-nosed player. A lot of shorter players are normally like that. They're normally the hard-nosed, tough and tumble players.
Nolan White misses it, and then Loffman just kind of has to tip it as he was going out of bounds. And it was last touch by Bloomington North. And will be Terre Haute North ball. I think Ethan Knott was able to throw it off a Bloomington North player.
And look how shallow Terre Haute North is playing. Luckily, they're able to finally break that press, and that's probably going to continue now.
Dylan Ingles shot a little long, and it was last touch by the Patriots. It'll be Cougar basketball.
That's what I was saying. Big man necessarily known for their shooting, so whenever they try one, it's usually sight to behold. You always want it to go in and see him succeed.
As Fitch lost it out of bounds, it will be Patriots basketball. Terre Haute North, about an hour's drive from here, close to the Indiana-Illinois state line. Little late getting here. That's why JV was delayed about 15 minutes. In the same conference, though, as the Cougars. So this is conference standing on the line. Both varsity teams are 1-2 coming into tonight, tied with Southport, where Bloomington South is 4-0, Columbus North 3-0, and they are actually meeting tonight, and Terre Haute South is 0-4. So if Bloomington South is able to win, they will win the conference title tonight.
You always wonder some of those games earlier in the season if you know, one basket or one, you know, free throw or free throw make would have changed a lot of different things. And, you know, once you get down to this, you just kind of play with the math that you're given.
Kevin Mims, number 3, Ryan Bramwell, number 30, into the game for Bloomington North. And Loffman with the rebound as the shot was short by Ethan Knott.
And another no-look pass.
And Nate Toohill gets fouled and will get to go to the line.
He's getting fancy. I've seen a couple of passes from him, and it, you know, you see Patrick Mahomes doing stuff like that. You know, LeBron last night had a crazy, you know, pass. He was trying to keep in bounds, and you know, a lot of creativity, which I think is cool. You know, good to see. It's just makes everybody around more enjoyable and have a lot more fun watching the game.
Nate Toohill at the line. Hits both free throws. He's got 6. This lead is 9, 13-4.
And absolutely nothing is given by Bloomington North for free.
You know, Arkansas back in the mid-90s, they always called it the 40 minutes of heck that Nolan Richardson implied. That's kind of like what Bloomington North is starting to do. They are starting to do what kind of the Arkansas of old used to do with that full court press.
And, you know, I've watched in a lot of different sports, whenever you have a team that plays with such intensity on the counterattack and on the, you know, and on the defensive end, are going to end up overwhelming teams. But it's just an idea, or do they have enough personnel, or do they have enough, you know, stamina to do it the whole game? Because that's the issue with this style of play is how long can you keep it up? Because, I mean, these guys are dying out there. I just get tired to look at them almost, you know.
Yeah, Nolan White, nice, able to break the pressure, and Dylan Ingle scores his 4th point of the night. Now Bloomington North going to slow it down just a hair, but nice play. Loffman couldn't finish, no call on that. But Mims on just a nice bounce pass. As Caden Mason, number 12, into the game. And then Ethan Knott able to score. And then they got to get it up, and they don't see the clock, as that will do it here for the first quarter. It's Terre Haute North 8, Bloomington North 13, here on Smithville Sports.
Smithville has been providing communications to South Central Indiana for nearly 100 years. Offering internet at gigabit speeds to entire communities, Smithville is the gigabit company. Your connection needs to be fast, reliable, and secure. You need an internet and communications provider who delivers. You need Smithville. Visit smithville.com today and find out what Smithville can do for you.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington North here at the Cougar Den Tom McKinney Court. Bloomington North leading Terre Haute North 13-8 as we start the second quarter. Glad you could join us for our final regular season broadcast of the 2018-19 season. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Jeremy Nutter. And Jeremy, right now, Bloomington North controls the game, and they're really not doing it from the outside. They're going inside all quarter. They went inside all quarter long. Yeah,
and it's completely different than what we saw, you know, the last time we were here, I believe 2 weeks ago, and it was a three-point contest almost. You know, it was who could jack up the most threes and make it. It didn't matter percentage or anything like that. All it mattered is, you know, shooting a three-pointer. And, you know, at the same time, changing their game plan doesn't change how effective they are at it, and they're able to still play effectively because of that intensity. And I think that comes with, you know, the coaching difference. You can definitely see a difference in style.
as Nate Toohill scores his 8th point of the night. So he has as many points right now as Terre Haute North does.
And a very easy break by Terre Haute North to get away from that press, because I don't think everybody got their man on that press. I think a few people kind of missed their assignments.
Number 10, Cody Bunch, into the game for Terre Haute North. He's 5'7", sophomore. That's on Xavier Trueblood, who's into the game for the first time. He wears number 15. Then ball is taken away by Fitch. And he gets it to Kevin Mims. He's going to fire top of the key. It is short. Rager there for the rebound. Misses the putback. Ball tapped around into the hands of Terre Haute North.
That's what the big man's for those rebounds.
Now Terre Haute North able to break the press. Hankins shot too strong, and one of the littlest guys on the floor, Kevin Mims, gets the rebound.
There you go. You know, sometimes you see, you know, the strangest things. One of those is a point guard getting the rebound. You know, that's not something that you would normally think of. But, you know, I see it happen a lot, and it's fun to see because, I mean, you know, you wouldn't expect that. They're, you know, Terre Haute North trying to go inside again, but they haven't had too much success doing that unless it's been their big man. They've seemed to shoot more from either the shoulders or the top of the key or that kind of range. Not any threes or anything that far away, but they're staying in that 2-point mid jumper range, and so that may be their sauce today. You know, who knows? But that seems to be the shots that they're getting without trying to force it inside too much.
Nate Toohill triple team to Zach Rager, and they're going to call it jump ball.
That was a wishful pass if I ever saw one. Yeah, you know, the coach probably saw that, and it's a quarterback passing into triple coverage basically.
And not much Rager could do there. I mean, 3 guys draped all over him. North controls this game. Bloomington North controls as Mims steals. He's got to hold on to it, and he does. Gets it to Hill, wide open 3, and he knocks it down, the first 3 of the night for the Cougars.
If that was last week, you know, that would have been that would have been one of probably 15 by now, or some around that. And again, now Terre Haute North is definitely working better on the press, not getting caught as much as they did at the beginning. But those first 6 points definitely set the tone, and we're seeing that right now with the lead stretched to 10.
Mark Hankins gets the bucket for Terre Haute North, his first 2 of the night. There's Xavier Trueblood, gets it to Toohill, gets it to Mims. Toohill going to fire it with a hand in his face, and he misses everything. Here is Ethan Knott, and he loses it out of bounds, and it will be Bloomington North ball. Terre Haute North doesn't agree with it. Tyler Young, number 14, is going to check back in, and Hankins will go out for Terre Haute North. Approaching 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Stay tuned, we'll have a great halftime feature. It is senior night tonight, so in between games they will honor the senior class here at Bloomington North. 5 seniors on this Cougar squad. Chris Thomas, Kobe Davis, Ethan Vinsel, Michael Barron, and Evan Todd all honored. Thomas a starter, Davis and Vinsel come off the bench, and then Barron and Ethan Todd haven't played a lot this year, but again, you know, they, again, at this point, I mean, team leaders for Bloomington North.
Yeah, and that's what we always look for, you know, a lot of seniors. And sometimes, you know, you have 5, sometimes you have 1, sometimes your whole starting lineup is seniors. So it really depends. And that leadership, just experience of, you know, being in school this long. You know, you're the oldest, so you get some respect there. It's a lot of different things, not just, you know, who plays all the minutes in the basketball game, but a lot of other stuff that kind of sets a tone for a locker room and a successful team.
Dylan Engel going to shoot a 3 in and out. Loftman in there for the rebound.
And that's probably the 3rd or 4th open shot I've seen on that right side for Terre Haute North. It seems to be where they can have the most success there.
Mims in traffic. And they're going to call a foul on Terre Haute North.
and like we were talking about too, it's different that they're not shooting as many threes. It seems like today they're driving in all the time. They seem to be really going in and wanting to try to create something inside rather than just sit outside and jack up threes, which, you know, is a different deal than what we saw, and shows the versatility of this JV team. Again, it's a JV team. It's not a varsity team, so that's pretty impressive.
As Kevin Mims, the third at the line, he's a 5'9" sophomore. Had a really good game the last time we were here against Columbus East, and he scores his first point of the game, and this lead is 11. And that double team in the corner bunch, and then throws it away to Fitch, and Fitch is able to score his first two of the night, and Terre Haute North has, again, seen enough and wants a full timeout.
And again, they're just struggling, absolutely struggling with that full court press. They just can't do anything about it. It seems, and that all goes down to, you know, you may have some younger players in there. You may have some people who are nervous whenever they see two people on top of them. And, you know, Bloomington North are doing a good job not fouling, because it's pretty easy to draw a foul in that situation if you know what you're looking for. And, you know, there's just a lot of timidity on this Terre Haute side that I guess they weren't expecting this level of intensity. You know, we seem like we're pretty accustomed to it. And so it's kind of interesting that they weren't coming into the game.
Yeah, only 5 foul calls between the two. Terre Haute North with 3, Bloomington North with 2. As you look at Jabril Conte, quickly mention that he was on that 97 state championship team. He was one of 4 players that was born outside the United States. He was born in Mali. They had 3 other kids that were born outside the U.S. Kwetawani, who played at Syracuse with Carmelo Anthony and won a championship, was born in the Sudan, now South Sudan. Mario Weissang, who I mentioned on a broadcast before, was born in Indonesia, and Jay Robb was born in the Philippines. Channel 13 did a story the week of the state finals about how Bloomington North had these kids from outside the United States because IU feeds to the Bloomington North district. So all the parents, you know, the kids of the students from IU, they feed into Bloomington North. So it seemed like Bloomington North went on this worldwide recruiting tour to bring these kids here. Well, I can say for a fact all these guys have been here for years because I grew up with all of them. So they had all been here for a long time. Yeah. So it's not like, but it was just kind of, I guess they felt like it was such a unique thing because there was such a melting pot, and they were in the state finals with all these kids from overseas, but they didn't recruit them. They all were here way before that. So
it's a good publicity for Bloomington North, and that is a pretty cool story, you know, having all those people. I'm pretty sure that's probably a one and only deal. I doubt any other Indiana team has that kind of
maybe not
thing going for them.
I mean, if you go to some of the other, like West Lafayette, I know has had some. Their girls team had a couple sisters from overseas that their dad was a professor at Purdue and stuff like that. But no, I think it's it's not something that happens a lot. Yeah, I'll say that.
And feeding the big man, they've been continuing to do that. You know, while we've been talking here, Bloomington North just stole the ball and drove down again inside.
That's going to be on Zach Rager, or going to be on Tyler Young, and Zach Rager is at the line, and he knocks it down. 24 is Casey Kelly for Terre Haute North.
And you know what I'm going to call whenever if they make this, I'm going to say that they're going to go on a press again. I'm going to go out on a limb. Pretty sure Bloomington North is probably going to go out on a press here. Here we go.
Rager has three of 4 at the line, and this lead is 15. And you're right, Terre Haute North able to break it. Nolan White back in the game, and he drains it from the outside. His first 3, and the first 3 for Terre Haute North.
That's the first point in a while for Terre Haute North as they finally get to 13.
Inside, Two Hill can't finish, but look at Rager muscling his way he gets fouled and will go in line.
So far, he's been the standout player, and like we talked about the evolution of the way this JV team has played. He's definitely been the player that they've been looking to so far. Not as much as their guards or as their small forwards or whatnot. It's more the center and the big men, and it's always good to see a little love and a little determination from the big man over there, because it's fun to watch. Because as we just saw, he just came in out of nowhere, grabbed the rebound, put it back up, and got a foul out of it, and it's been pretty consistent at the line.
And he misses that one. Cooper Macy, number 5 in the game for Bloomington North. Lead is 13. Terre Haute North going to back it out. And it doesn't seem like Terre Haute North is going to push it any further. They are still kind of in their half-court offense as Nolan White drains his second 3, and the lead's cut to 10. It doesn't seem like Terre Haute North, though, really pushing their tempo. They're still doing what they do. Loffman, spin move, misses it. Young with the rebound. Here comes a little transition for Terre Haute North. Young not able to score as Toohill with it. Gets it to Marco Fitch. Terre Haute North now amping up their pressure a little bit.
Yeah, but like I said before, it's always interesting to see how long they can handle this. And so I'm wondering if this change in tempo is going to be for the rest of the game, the rest of the half, another minute and a half, because that's not too hard to keep it up. But for the rest of the game is kind of more interesting to see, see if this tempo, this build-up in tempo as well. As we saw after Terre Haute North scored, they passed the ball in, and it was a one-on-one full-court press, and that's not going to work most of the time. You're not going to be able to shut off somebody one-on-one, because they'll just be able to cut you each way and get past you. So that's kind of interesting, a little extra energy that maybe doesn't need to be spent, and rather just pick them up at the half-court line if you aren't doing a traditional full-court press, and being able to do that.
As 26-16, a minute 26 left here in the first half. Again, Cougars have been in control this entire game, as Terre Haute North starting to pick it up. Nolan White's come down, hit 2 back-to-back, three attempts so far. But again, it's going to be just getting stops for Terre Haute North.
And it's stuff like that that's just going to absolutely just drive the coach up a wall, and it's going to make them just lose by a lot, because if that continues, then hey, Bloomington North will be happy to keep getting the points from it.
As Macy couldn't get that one to go, now Terre Haute North on the other end. Hankins, Engel. Now White guarded by Fitch. Inside a minute here, as we'll have halftime feature for you. Senior night in between, and Young gets the bucket, and we'll get to go to the line. That will be on Cooper Macy.
And now, as he's there taking the free throws, you see Terre Haute North coach kind of coaching, how to break that press.
There's the steal by Nolan White. He's got Loffman one-on-one. Loffman goes for the big block, commits the foul, and White will go to the line.
And he does seem like that traditional fiery little man. He in that there's the big man persona, and there's a little guy persona, and it's fun to watch both of them, and of course fun to watch all the other players, but just kind of fitting in those roles tonight very, very succinctly, and he went down there knowing he was going to get clobbered, and still went down there and threw something up anyways.
Little guys most of the time show no fear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got it when you're one of the smallest guys on the floor. You either have that deer in the headlights look, or you just go full bore and show no fear. And a lot of guys show no fear.
Got to go bite the ankles of people, you know.
Nolan White able to get the second free throw with his 7-point lead is cut down to 7.
And a full court press out here from Terre Haute North with 30 seconds left.
There is Fitch to 2 Hill. Coach Conte screaming instructions. I don't think Coach Allen for Terre Haute North has sat down. I think he's up the entire game so far.
I think he may get gray hair by the end of the game if his team still keeps on getting caught on the press
and allowing Bloomington North to get offensive rebounds as Zach Rager did. It was a held ball possession arrow with Bloomington North with 2 seconds left. This is going to be Fitch, and he scores at the buzzer. So Bloomington North leading 28-19 here at the half as we look at the highlights, and it's been that defensive effort. Loffman saves it, Uyghur scores. Terre Haute North, though, Dylan Engel, the big fella, he hits one of 2 buckets. You see the second one from the baseline. And then it's inside to go to Xavier Trueblood, and the press points off turnovers. Marco Fitz, the runner, as he has 4. Tyler Young, the hoop and the harm, as we're at halftime. Bloomington North 28, Terre Haute North 19 on Smithville Sports.
I'm Nikki Gessler, and I own the Grey Dog Gallery. I opened Grey Dog Gallery 3 years ago this September as a working studio and a space for local artists to showcase their work. And then about a year later, I decided that it needed to be more. So I added handmade things, quality things from real people who are trying to make it in the art world and just need a little step up. Right now I have over 20 different artists here. Basically, if it's handmade and it's top quality, then I want it in here. I have ceramics, I have leather work, I have prints, jewelry, all kinds of wearable art. I'm a portrait artist, so I paint portrait commissions for people, usually people's kids, people's pets, people's families. I paint acrylic, oil, watercolor. I do linoleum block printing, wood printing, paper cutting. It's named the Grey Dog Gallery because when my husband and I were trying to think of names, you know, we had this great gray dog whose name is Avalanche Williams, not Grey Dog. A lot of people in town call him Grey Dog, but that's fine. He doesn't know the difference. So it's named Grey Dog, and he works here with me. Whenever I'm here, he's here, usually sleeping, but also greeting people and serving as security. Pet portraits are huge. People love portraits of their pets. Portraits to put over the mantelpiece, portraits to print, turn into cards, to, you know, everything. So this building last year celebrated its 150th birthday, and it was originally built as a bank, the Bank of Gosport. Now I'm here in the basement, and I live up top. I have customers come in all the time. They love to tell me, I used to go to school down here, or I used to do my taxes down here, or, you know, this used to be this used to be this. So this building has quite an extensive history in Gosport. It's a super awesome building. It has a lot of character. I'm really lucky to have this studio here where I can do whatever I want and just take my projects whichever direction I want to, which means I have some pretty crazy projects. We're working on putting a park down by the waterfront. On the way to the waterfront, you have to go underneath this bridge, and it was just filled with graffiti, which, you know, graffiti's fine, but this was pretty racist and pretty unsavory, unwelcoming stuff. It was the biggest barrier to making a nice area. So I just had this crazy idea. I know what to do with the brush, so I'll paint a mural. I'm not a mural painter. I work small, and I like to be able to see the whole thing while I'm working on it. And I remember in college, they make you paint on a huge canvas, and I hated it because I love painting small. So I came up with a design, and then I raised money, and now there's a mural down there. It's half done now, but we'll be completely done. Hopefully in the fall. It's really humid here, and paint doesn't dry so well, and I melt, the wall melts. When I moved to Gosport 3 years ago, it was very different from anything that I was familiar with. I grew up in Crown Point, 30,000 people there, huge city, county seat. Moved to Bloomington, huge place, and then here, 800 people, everybody knows everybody, everybody knows everybody's business. It's very different, culture shock. I love it, but it was very different for me. So opening a new business was pretty difficult. So I thought what I need to do is get involved in the community, and that kind of exploded. I started the Patriotic Picnic, which is a 4th of July celebration. I started Pumpkins in the Park, which is a fall celebration. I'm on the Holiday Festival Committee, a Christmas celebration. The position that I have now at the Gosport Business Association allows me to do all my projects, my crazy projects that I imagine in my head. Makes it really easy for me to make them come to life. When I was in college, I started reef keeping, which is a super addictive hobby, and I think that once you get into it, you never really get out of it. So here I was in my own space, and I could do basically whatever I wanted down here. So I thought, yes, now's my chance, get another reef tank. So I put together this 22-gallon, mostly reef, a few fish aquarium. And as it grew slowly, customers were really interested in it, and we started jokingly calling it the Gosport Aquarium, the world's smallest public aquarium. So that, I mean, it really took off. And then the opportunity to expand the aquarium in the room behind the gallery came up, and so we are looking at expanding the aquarium to about 1,000 gallons. So it'll still be the world's smallest public aquarium, but it'll be quite a bit larger than it currently is. My busiest time of year would be the many festivals that Gosport has. For example, the Lazy Days Festival, which is the second weekend in August. It's been going on for 50 years. It's huge. Thousands of people come from all over the country. So that's a pretty busy weekend for me. Most of the things that I sell, well, all of the things that I sell, make great Christmas gifts. So the Holiday Festival is a really good one for me too. Every first Friday of the month, I have a show opening from 6 to 8 p.m. And that's just the opening for whatever show I have on this, call it the big wall over here. Every month I try to have a different artist rotating in. I would love for the Grey Dog Gallery to be just packed, you know, floor to ceiling, artwork, no space for anything else. As many artists as I can get in this space. You need to come to Grey Dog Gallery to see a little bit of the Midwest culture. I have a lot of work from local artists. You have to come and see the Gosport Aquarium. You have to come see Avalanche Williams. You have to come see what I'm working on. We're open every day from 11 to 5, except we're closed on Wednesdays and we're closed on Sundays. Located at the corner of 4th and Main in Gosport, Indiana.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington High School North, a little halftime entertainment here as some Special Olympians taking the floor for Bloomington North, getting to play a little halftime basketball, getting ready to finish up here as this is very entertaining as he's going to try a long three, not able to score, and the rebound, trying to get another shot up here.
It's a lot of fun out here right now, and there's a group prior as well, so there's been a lot of fun out here.
As they're going to get together at midcourt and get a big ovation from this crowd, as that's pretty cool for the people here, the Special Olympians here for Bloomington High School North, and getting a great reception and awesome job as you see them all leaving the floor. And the one kid is over there in the student section getting high fives and everything else. So it's a pretty cool, neat event here for these kids, and a great shot of all these kids as we're getting ready to start the second half. As you see Terre Haute North coming back out on the floor, Bloomington North. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball here on Smithville Sports. I am Nick Jensen alongside Jeremy Nutter, and before we go any further, we want to thank Marco Fitch's dad. He came up to us at halftime. This game is also streamed live on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and subscribe to the Smithville channel or search Smithville Media, you can watch us on YouTube if you're not in the area. And he watched it from Manila in the Philippines 2 weeks ago. He said it was 7 in the morning when he watched the game. But he came up, and we thank him for letting us know, and also thank him for watching. And, you know, he said it was a great quality broadcast and everything else. So that's pretty cool to know that people are not only watching here, but watching around the world as well.
Yeah, and you know, I'm subscribed, so you know, why shouldn't anybody else? And yeah, it's cool to be able, you know, more and more things are being streamed all the time, and it's just not TV anymore. You know, TV channels, a lot of things are online, so it's cool that, you know, you can find a JV basketball game in Southern Indiana online and watch it and enjoy basketball, or, you know, watch your son play or whatnot, or daughter. And so it's a cool thing to be able to have, and it just, you know, shows how far technology's come, you know, and has been able to revolutionize how we watch JV basketball and varsity basketball.
I remember, of course, you know, when I was younger, state finals were always on TV, and that was the big thing. And sometimes the semi-state was on TV, and maybe a regional championship. Now you've got high school games on national TV, thanks to LeBron James, because that became the big sensation when he got on ESPN and all that stuff. And now you see a lot more online local people getting involved in games of the week and all this stuff, and you can go online, like you said, and watch all these different teams and different games and everything else. So it's you know, it's amazing the technology and how far you know, they've come with being able to do stuff like this. And we want to thank our crew for everything they've done throughout the 2018-19 football and basketball season. We have Nate Alarcon, Annette Bruner, and Catherine Jankowski on the cameras. Clemente Tirado directing the JV game tonight with Rob Ramsey and Nadir Noon on the deck. Ethan Tashida not here tonight, but he's been a part of this. Quinn Saturday doing scores, you and I doing commentary. It's been a lot of fun. We can't thank these guys enough for everything that they've done behind the scenes. And also a special thank you to Colin and Darby McCarty, because without them, none of this would be possible. So, and we wouldn't get to do what we all love to do. So a big thank you to everybody And partner, it's been a fun year.
Yeah, and you know, joining on at basketball and not, you know, doing the football stuff, but looking forward to it next year. And it's been a fun time, you know, seeing high school basketball and watching high school sports, because, you know, I was once a part of that group, and it's fun to see, you know, what it's like nowadays. You know, 3 years since I stopped playing and stopped being in that environment, and being in a high school environment is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Being a high school athlete, you don't get the same thing at college or at a professional level, for sure, because you have that tight-knit community, you know, those rivalries, and that close-knit, you know, friendships that you get on those teams.
As we get to see a steal from Bloomington North. But yeah, high school sports is always a special thing. I mean, the state finals in Indiana, I used to get up in the morning when it was one class, watch the 2 semifinal games, took a nap in the afternoon, come back to watch the championship game that night as Marco Fitch drills the 3. But it was always something you look forward to. Now, of course, the state finals, 4 classes, so you got 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, which is always it's a fun atmosphere. I mean, I remember when Damon Bailey won the state title in 1990 for Bedford North Lawrence, the largest crowd ever to watch a high school game, 41,000 to watch Damon Bailey his senior year as Bedford beat Concord. Concord had, I think they were already gone, but Sean Kemp played there and Jamar Johnson, who went to Nebraska. But that was just an incredible, you know, one of those things you'll never forget. 41,000 people to watch a high school basketball game.
I mean, that's probably average attendance at a Texas football game, but still, that's incredible. That's a big number. And I've had the privilege of seeing a game in the Newcastle Arena, of course, and that's an incredible stadium, and you know, something that is truly unique to Indiana. And you walk in there, and it looks like a little gym, and then all of a sudden you look down, and there it is. And
first time I walked in that place, my jaw absolutely dropped. 9,000 people. I got to broadcast a couple games while I was a student at Ball State, and it was a very cool thing, and been there several times. As Fitch gets the rebound and put back, and he's got 5 here in this third quarter.
And that was one of those that you just wanted to stay out. I don't know why there was any attempt to try and save the ball. And again, another disintegration on offense by Terre Haute. They're just having so much trouble with this press. Sometimes it's easier than others, obviously, but again.
And it is a clinic, and Loftman scores, and it is just a clinic now, 37-21, as it's a 9-0 run to start this quarter.
And you know, because you want the game to be good, and it's been rough seeing this Terre Haute team not be able to been able to break the press. I mean, you would think within the first, because that's what's happened in previous weeks, where, you know, Bloomington North has put on the pressure, and then the press is broken, and they end up dissolving back to just a half-court defense. But, you know, Coach Conte is like, it's working. Do you want to go with it? They're probably like, are you guys still, you guys think you can keep up with it? And they're like, yeah, you know, because, you know, whenever you're successful at it, you know, you're not going to get as tired. It'll be that mental kind of edge that you have. You know, if it's like that thing, if you're chasing the ball, you're always going to be a lot more tired than the person who has the ball. And you know, I've experienced that a lot, and definitely seeing that here tonight, where, you know, they're winning on those competitions between their certain player they're playing against, being able to shut them down on offense and on inbounds, and hey, go for it.
Yeah, and they're going to keep it up, as you see Mims guarding the inbounder, as it will be Terre Haute North ball.
And that's another thing that I've grown recently to like more and more is stuff like that, where once they get the inbound and they're kind of on the edge, and you may not want to hit it out of bounds, you end up hitting it out of bounds. And so it's just something to stop the flow of play that I think, and something that is effective done in the right way. You know, you don't want to do it too much, but in certain situations where you just don't want them to get, get anything rolling. Which here, if Terre Haute North doesn't really have anything going for them right now, unfortunately, and so Bloomington North are just want to keep the status quo.
And here is Terre Haute North pushing it a little bit. Nolan White with it, and he cannot find Ethan Knott cutting to the basket, and it is Bloomington North ball.
And you think what the varsity players on both sides think whenever they see this. You know, if unless Terre Haute North is completely different on the varsity level and is a lot more calmer and is able to do a lot more with the ball and can see and has better vision off the inbound, the varsity players may be looking at this a little scared, knowing that they're going to have to face this in the game coming up.
Bloomington North controls 18-point lead. As Nolan White back, he hit 2 threes there in that second quarter. And he is not able to, it's going to be a foul this time on the Cougars. We're going to get Zach Rager for his team's second this time. And this is Tyler Young. Again, now Bloomington North not giving an inch. White can't get it to go. Knott can't get it to go. Loftman pulls it down. And here comes Mims.
And you saw excellent transfer and trading. They did a good job of, you know, switching on defense and you know, if they got caught in a pick, it would switch, or if they were able to, you know, get around the hedge, they were able to stick with their man, and they didn't necessarily have to talk about it. They just kind of knew. It's good communication to where the second man's always ready to pick up the person if they're not able to get around the pick.
There is a miss by Terre Haute North. Loftman on his knees and able to get the pass to Mims.
And he's been absolutely everywhere, really showing why, as you said earlier, why he's getting a call up and is getting an opportunity to maybe get in the varsity game.
He's another football player. He's a kid that plays both ways football-wise, and you know, you can tell he goes all out all the time.
Yeah, it's what, you know, what you see a lot is athlete, you know, an athlete that is naturally good at sports, and you know, I've seen a lot of those you know, coming up and playing different sports and all around. You know, you see players that just are so good, and you're just so jealous because, you know, how can they be so good at so much?
One kid that we'll see here in the varsity that's a rising athlete is sophomore Aaron Steinfeld, and he's really made a presence as Ethan Knott scores. He's really made a presence on the basketball floor. He had 12 points and 9 rebounds against Edgewood last Thursday. Fitch drains the 3. 12 for Marco Fitch, his second 3 here in the.
And you said determination. It's things like that are absolutely just evident out there on the court that you see, you know, players do that, dive out, tip out a ball that they know they're probably not going to get, and then end up, you know, stuff like this happens.
And there's the give. They just a great finish. Cade Loftman is able to score again, 44-23.
And the guy who dives out get the points, you know. He was able to give it all on one play, and he ends up getting an easy basket.
As I think Terre Haute North called that timeout. As you see, Jabril Conte, you know, one of 11 kids in Bloomington North history to wear that famous Indiana All-Star jersey. I'll give you the rundown of guys that's wore it. Terry Stotts in 1976, head coach now of the Portland Trail Blazers. Dewaney in 1995, played for Wisconsin on a Final Four team. Of course, we mentioned Jabril Conte. Quet Dewaney, 1998, played for Syracuse, won the national championship in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony. Jared Jeffries, 2000, played, of course, for IU, was on the national runner-up team. Sean May, of course, played here, the son of Scott May, won the national championship in North Carolina. Eric Sewer played for IU as a walk-on. Bill Dewaney, the youngest of the Dewaney family I mentioned to you before the broadcast. 5 Dewaneys all 5 Division I basketball players, 2 daughters, 3 sons, all played Division I basketball.
Have some good genes in that family.
3 Indiana All-Stars, and then Julian Boatner in 2010 played for William and Mary. And then on the girls' side, you had Kylie Jarrett, who played for Ball State, was on the team that knocked off Tennessee, also just named to the 2019 Monroe County Sports Hall of Fame class, so congratulations to Kylie. She's now an assistant coach for Edgewood girls basketball with Kurt Simic. And then Alex Guyton, who played for Purdue University as well. So a lot of talent has come through these halls at Bloomington North, and that's quite a list of kids that have come through this program.
Not a bad resume, you know, and you say the Raptors coach, you know, which
Trailblazers.
They're Trailblazers, sorry, you know, Trailblazers coach which is, you know, crazy to think that one day, you know, one of these kids in here could be somewhere like that or doing something, and so it's just crazy to think about, because, you know, all you see is a JV player, a varsity player, and you don't really see that, you know, one day they could be a head coach of an NBA team. You know that's unthinkable nearly at this level, and I'm sure their parents just want them to still stay little and still stay as little basketball players.
And that doesn't even mention Musa Jallo, who played here for 3 years, but he reclassed and left early for Ohio State. He could have been another Indiana All-Star. Ray McCallum Jr. played here for 2 years, then went to Detroit Country Day when his dad was named the coach of Detroit Mercy. Mike Davis Jr. was here, the son of former IU coach Mike Davis. Pat Knight, you know, was also here, the sons of Bob Knight. So on and on the list of talent and kids and famous dads and famous, you know, coaches that have come through here at Bloomington North. Nolan White scores. It's a 20-point lead for Bloomington North. Of course, the Cougars also in 2000 made the state finals. They lost to Marion that year. Jared Jeffries was on that team along with Sean May, and lost to Zach Randolph in Marion that year. There he is, Cody Bunch, able to get Mims off his feet and get the basket.
Another small guy, very smart play, very intelligent play by doing that pump fake.
Kevin Mims misses Xavier Trueblood, put back and going to the line. And Xavier Trueblood, again, we talk about these football kids. He's another one. Running back, he does, you know, he's another all out all the time.
And you know, whenever you get there, you know, you get some players who are only good with their hands or only good with their feet, you know. But then you get other people who are good with both and just naturally coordinated, and those are people you know you watch out for at the high school level, because at the high school level you can still, you know, and even at the college level and even at the pro level, it gets thinner and thinner, the herd that can, you know, do multiple sports. And so you just watch out for them, because you're like, oh, I'm going to see you in football and I'll see you in basketball, you know.
As that will do it for the end of third quarter. Cougars in control, 49-28 on Smithville Sports.
Whether you need an awesome wrap for your truck, a new look for your sports car, or simply some great window tinting, Van Horn has you covered. Need accessories like step bars, bug shields, or toolboxes? Or how about a neon clock for the garage or den? Van Horn can take care of it. With years of experience, Van Horn gives you the professional look with the quality you deserve. Stop by our shop in Ellettsville, the large building behind McDonald's, or give us a call at 812-876-2230. You can also visit our website at vanhorn1.com. Van Horn Tent and Accessories, the place for your custom vehicle needs.
As we welcome you back, you see Terre Haute North. Varsity coach Todd Wolfley in the background as the Patriots are struggling tonight. 49-28 trailing the Cougars. Terre Haute North one more timeout. Bloomington North has 4 left. Glad you could join us for our final regular season broadcast here on Smithville Sports. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Jeremy Nutter. Jeremy, North outscores Terre Haute North 21-9 in that third quarter.
I mean, that's all you need to hear. That's pretty much the game right
and
there.
Started it with a 9-0 run too, so it is just that's pretty much kind of what you need to hear at this point. As crowd starting to arrive here, senior night, 5 Cougar seniors this year on this team. As Nate Toohill, the nice reverse layup,
And whenever I think of that, after seeing today, it's defense. Defense has been a huge part, and you don't see that a lot. The higher the levels are, the less it seems like you see a defensive presence on the floor, which I just think is amazing, because in the NBA, the teams that play the hardest defense usually do okay. That's how the Pacers did so well for the little while that they challenged the Heat and then the Cavs for the Eastern Conference. And so tonight, definitely seeing where defense is just a huge factor in how Bloomington North play.
Kevin Mims driving to the basket, gets called to the foul, or he is fouled, and that's Caden Mason with the foul, and Kevin Mims will go to the line. Mims tonight, 3 points, 1 of 2 from the line, and he gets that one to go. He's got 4. One more for Mims.
You just see here how they close out the fourth quarter here. I guess they're going to stay in the way that they've had success so far and stay inside.
There is the pressure again from.
And that close down speed is unbelievable. And I mean, look at that. They're able to slice through, but it's because, rather than them doing that on purpose, they got lucky there a few times with a few passes and a few other things that went their way, Terre Haute. But I mean, Bloomington North close down speed and intensity is just tiring to watch.
As Cooper Macy going to check back in. That is on Mason, his second. Mims will go out. Haven't seen any of the freshmen that they have brought up yet. Coach Conte may be going to bring them in here soon.
Yeah, you would think that they would come in here later in the game, being up by so much. And it also being a JV game where, it seems like Bloomington North wants to be more of a development team to push people up to the varsity level. But, doing great. And watching Nolan White tonight has been fun. If one bright spot on that Terre Haute team, definitely Nolan White. I mean, he's been all over the place. His intensity has stayed up. He just got a layup down there.
He's got 11 points.
And 11 points.
Team. Yeah.
And just the intensity, leadership he's showing out there, really impressive for his stature. And he's really been a standout so far for that Terre Haute team, which has really struggled tonight.
Cody Bunch, it was knocked out of bounds by Bloomington North. Ryan Bramwell, number 30, into the game. As Terre Haute North will inbound it, up by Bloomington North, up by 21. Again, we'll have senior night in between, so it may take a little longer than the varsity game tonight between these two teams. Both 1 and 2 coming into tonight in the conference. They will both have one more conference game left next week. As a 3 on the way, it's Too Strong. Two Hill with the rebound and in transition takes it coast to coast.
And he was able to get that one running, didn't have to face the backboard or anything. So that was a very efficient way, to grab a rebound and go for it.
15 for Two Hill. As that is off the mark, ball tapped around. There'll be a foul on Bloomington North.
It's hard for someone like Bramwell not to, wrap one of these kids up, because his wingspan's probably as tall as 2 of them, and so you see there on that jump ball how he basically hugged the guy, but was able to get some out of it.
Yeah, Bramwell at 6'4". You're going to see several kids.
And 6 players on the court are now one went off, but it did look like 6 players on the court for a second.
6'23" is Daniel Taylor for Terre Haute North as he's into the game. There is White against Hill. He's going to just muscle his way past Trueblood and score again.
I mean, it's fun to watch. It's so fun to watch, so fun to see anything. Bloomington North, their intensity has been such a joy to see, and really good basketball. Terre Haute tried to do it themselves, and they've had varying success so far this game. It hasn't really been a standout look.
There is Tyler Young with the basket for Terre Haute North, and now it's 19.
And Hill trying to draw the charge there. Not sure how often you're going to get that call in any game, but might as well try. Might as well see what the refs would call.
Cooper Macy, number 5, into the game, approaching 3 minutes to go. Marco Fitch gets it back to Macy. Getting ready to.
And an overload where most of the players on the left side now. And then they spread out back again.
There is. Looks like the Cougars have slowed this down now.
Seems as though they're doing a form like a box and one kind of deal. And
now they lose
pass.
it. And Nolan White. And he gets it to go, and Macy's going to get the foul.
I'm telling you what, I mean, I don't know what his parents are feeding him, but he is just an absolute, workhorse for this team. He's doing it all, and wow,
Amazing performance as Casey Kelly's coming back in, and then Gavin Hillenberg, number 31, is going to come in, 6'4" sophomore.
The varsity coach for Terre Haute may keep his eyes out. I know he's really short, though, but definitely put on a performance worthy of being looked at least, in my opinion, and I would think everybody's opinion here tonight. He's definitely been impressive.
16 for Nolan White, 16-point lead for Bloomington North. They are going to finish or go to 14-3 again. Columbus North on the road next week, Floyd Central, and then New Albany's. Hillenberg drives the basket, and too strong as approaching 2 minutes to go. Terre Haute North's got a busier schedule coming up as Hankins misses it. They are in Teutopolis, Illinois tomorrow, West Vigo, Indianapolis Howell, at Evansville Harrison, at Southport, and at Lafayette Jeff to close it out. Their sectional is Brownsburg, Mooresville, Plainfield, Avon, Terre Haute South. So that will not be easy for Terre Haute North. Bloomington North sectional, Shelbyville, Columbus East, Bloomington South, East Central, and Columbus North. The sectional draw is Sunday, February 17th, about 5 o'clock. So these teams will find out who they play, they know where they're playing, as that will be a 30-second timeout. I think Bloomington North called it. As I don't know if Jabril,
looks like the varsity players are leaving to go to the locker room.
Yeah, get a couple guys to head to the locker room, maybe to get some senior night stuff. They always have those like gift baskets and stuff for the mom, flowers for the moms, and maybe some stuff for the guys and all that stuff. But as I mentioned, 5 seniors: Chris Thomas, Evan Todd, Ethan Venzel, Kobe Davis, Michael Barron. Chris Thomas, a monster game against Edgewood, 28 points. But he also got took a hard fall in a flagrant foul from Austin Schwartz of Edgewood. Schwartz was ejected for that game. Schwartz missed the next game against Bedford North Lawrence. But Chris Thomas responded with just, again, a monster game in that game. And I think he's going to be looking for big things tonight. Ryan Nathan Hoffman, 34, is now in the game. He'll fire a 3. It is no good. Also, Riley Moore is in the game. Josh Hanna, 45, in the game as well. So we're seeing more of the freshmen.
And that's fun for them. They come out here. There is a lot of people here. As you said, senior night's about to start here not too long. And it's, it's fun to see all these all these younger guys getting a feel for. This is big, you know. This is big for them. This is equivalent to a Lucas Oil for a, you know, for a college team or something like that, where you're playing in an actual arena instead of you know, in an empty space, you know, where that no one's, your parents are there maybe, and now you have, you know, the school watching on, you know, trying to impress people in the stands maybe, and getting your time to shine.
Well, Edgewood was lucky a couple weeks ago. They got to play in Bankers Life Fieldhouse as part of a big event, and that was a cool thing that, you know, got to go up, and it's not every day you get to sit center court, court side in seats that you would never afford or never get to see ever
Yeah.
again. So it was a pretty cool experience, and you know, it's a fun, not only for it's not only for kids, it's for the parents, it's for the fans, the entire school, as Tyler Young scores. And this one is going to close out. Terre Haute North makes a little bit of a run here, but it's going to be too little too late, as Bloomington North is going to win 57-45.
And Coach Conte is just kind of waiting it out. He's not he doesn't seem to be too stressed at this point. He's just kind of seeing what his guys are doing. He may give a few pointers. As you know, they're making a bit of a run, not gonna lie. They're only down by 10 now, probably 9, I would think. And so, very interesting game. Very, very odd in the way it's ended. It's kind of, Bloomington North has definitely taken the foot off the gas here in the last, you know, 3-4 minutes.
Terre Haute North has cut the lead to 9. Too little, too late, though. They're going to just dribble this out, and that will do it. It's going to be 57-48. Bloomington North wins. As you hear, of course, the Cougar band, now it's going to get a little loud here as we get ready for these highlights. And it is Bloomington North. Marco Fitch draining the 3. Cade Loffman spin move to the bucket. And then it is Cade Loffman just finishing it again. A monster game for him. May see him in varsity. Terre Haute North. Nice play by Cody Bunch to get Kevin Mims off his feet and score. And Bunch again scores. He ends up with 4. True Blood to the bucket. Those football players, they just go all out all the time. Tyler Young the score, and that's going to do it. Bloomington North 57, Terre Haute North 48. We'll have senior night, and then we'll have the varsity game coming up. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. We will see you here in about 20 minutes for Bloomington North basketball on Smithville Sports. as we welcome you live to the Cougar Den here at Bloomington High School North. It is the Terre Haute North Patriots against the Bloomington North Cougars. I am Nick Jenkins alongside Quinn Saturday, and we will get to this matchup here in just a minute as we're getting ready to honor America with the national anthem. The Bloomington North Pep Band does a great job as always. As again, we are here for Terre Haute North and Bloomington North. Alongside Quinn Saturday, I'm Nick Jameson. And Quinn, Terre Haute North comes in 9-8, but they won 8 of their last 10 after an 0-6 start.
Yeah, Terre Haute North has definitely turned their season around. Rough start to it, but they've come around here playing very, very well and are looking to, the winner of this game will be able to get to 500 in Conference Indiana, as both teams are 1-2 right now. So this is a huge game for both of them.
Huge game for both of them. Bloomington North comes in 13-3 on a 6-game winning streak, and they're going to get to do the senior night, turn out the lights, Chicago Bulls thing, as all 5 seniors going to get to start tonight. We'll start with the forwards as they're going to get introduced here one by one, and it's going to be Kobe Davis, 5'11", senior, getting to start. These were all.
He's always been a player that we've kind of watched from JV to varsity.
Michael Barron doesn't get to play a lot, but 5'10", he'll get his first start tonight. Ethan Venzel, who started the first game of the year, 6'4", gets a big hug from young brother Isaac, as Evan Todd, number 21, 6'3", and then Chris Thomas, number 1, will get the start, 6'7", 28 points against Edgewood. Had a huge, was taken down in that game by Austin Schwartz on a flagrant foul, but came back and responded with 28 big points in that game.
Yeah, absolutely huge win for Bloomington North, being able to beat a really good Edgewood team. And right now, Bloomington North has to feel very confident about themselves, but they're facing a team who, as you said, is also feeling very confident about themselves. So it's a battle of teams on the run right now.
And it's a battle of styles, because Terre Haute North averages 59.5, gives up 57.6. Bloomington North averages 67.6 and gives up 55.6. And immediately Terre Haute North goes right to the basket and gets an offensive rebound and put back by Aaron Tompkins.
That was all started by Hayes, who was able to immediately take advantage of any lackadaisical start, knowing that he's going up against a senior team, so some people who aren't maybe used to playing the game right away. Excellent job to start right away.
Thomas misses the shot. Shelby Sykes with the rebound.
And that's definitely something that I'm looking for right now for Terre Haute North, to attack this lineup while it's out there. It's a celebratory start to the game, but not a huge tactical one.
And if you're Jason Spear, how long do you keep guys like Barron and Todd, who don't get a lot of minutes in this game? There is Thomas, too strong. Eddington with the rebound, and 3 on the way for Hayes Dunnigan is no good. And immediately pushing it up the floor is Bloomington North. We are back. We've had some technical difficulties. We apologize for that, as it's still 2-0 Terre Haute North here with 6:16 to go.
And the seniors have done a really good job of maintaining. I mentioned Terre Haute North, the Patriots attacking during this part, but credit the Cougar seniors. They have really held their own right here.
And again, I was mentioning how long does Jason Spear keep some of the guys in, like Barron and Todd, who don't get a lot of minutes. But so far, he's keeping them going as Barron draws the foul, being very aggressive. That's on Dunnigan for Terre Haute North, his first and the team's first. Venzel to inbound to Barron. To Kobe Davis. Gets it to Chris Thomas. Thomas, the only regular starter out there tonight. Barron, 3 is off the mark. And this is Cayman Hayes. Gonna drive around Todd, get the basket, and go to the line.
Hayes was the one who took that initial tip and took it right to the basket to start off this game. He's a very aggressive player on offense. As you see right there, he's now been accounted for 2 buckets. The first one he didn't score, but he caused by setting up the tempo.
Hayes at the line. He's a 6-foot senior for the Patriots. It's a 5-0 lead. Hayes had 12 against Linton in the Wabash Valley Championship game and 11 against Edgewood in their quarterfinal matchup. They beat Edgewood 64-58, a rematch of last year's Wabash Valley Championship game. Davis's 3 is off the mark. Here is Terre Haute North. This is Hayes. Drops it off, baseline jumper, too strong for Sykes. Sykes with the rebound and put back.
And that was all set up by Hayes getting that initial tip. He has had a really great start. You definitely got to, when you're a senior going to other people's senior night, you definitely feel a little something, a little extra motivation as well, whether it's imagining your own senior night or trying to ruin another senior night.
As that was on Evan Todd, that's his second, and Jason Spear calls a full timeout with 5:05 remaining. Well, you mentioned the Conference Indiana standings. Bloomington South is 4-0, Columbus North 3-0. Those 2 teams are meeting across town tonight at Bloomington South. If Bloomington South wins the championship, the conference title is theirs. Bloomington North, Terre Haute North, and Southport are all 1-2, and then Terre Haute South is 0-4. So again, as you mentioned earlier, it is a kind of a battle for position here in the conference race, even though it's probably going to be decided. The champion will probably be crowned tonight in Bloomington South.
Yeah, it's all about positioning right now. Neither team, as you said, both Columbus North and Bloomington South are the only possible teams who could win Conference Indiana this season. So that doesn't matter. It's just who finishes ahead of each other in the standings.
Yeah, and Bloomington North will travel to Columbus North next Friday.
And another thing, Bloomington North definitely probably feels a little extra motivation. They've only lost 3 games, but 2 of them have been in conference. They definitely don't want to have a good season end up in a bad conference season.
No, their 2 losses, their losses this season, Center Grove, Bloomington South, and Southport. So they are, and you definitely don't want to lose on senior nights. That's thrown away, and it will be Bloomington North ball. Todd Wolfley, the coach at Terre Haute North, on 146 and 117, 11 years, 6 winning seasons. He's won sectional titles in 2011 and 2012. Jason Spear, 19 and 20 in his second year, 134 and 68, 9 years overall, 7 years the boys coach at Columbus North, and then also the head coach for 2 years here at Bloomington North for the girls. Chris Thomas' shot is no good, and Tompkins with the rebound.
The big problem so far for Bloomington North is that they haven't gotten to the basket. All of their shots have been 20-foot jumpers.
And there is a shot for Aaron Tompkins off the mark, but an offensive board for Terre Haute North. And now the Cougars come away with it. So far, no substitutions yet. Almost halfway through this first quarter, Spear has kept the seniors in. Barron misses the shot. And now Coach Wolfley tells him, slow it down. Terre Haute North style is not to run and gun.
Yeah, as you mentioned at the start, a bit of a contrast in styles, but Terre Haute North is able to adapt on the fly. Unlike some other teams, which when they get sped up, they get out of control. The Patriots are able to actually adapt. They just prefer to have a bit of a slower pace.
As Braden Eddington, number 20, with the ball guarded by Ethan Venzel. Now you see Terre Haute North spread it out. This is Hayes. Off the mark. It's going to be a foul.
I believe it's going to be on Sykes.
And it is on Shelby Sykes. That's his set first and the team's second. Cougars will inbound, looking for their first points of the game. Davis. Ethan Venzel. Barron. Davis, 3 off the mark.
Again, every single shot has been an outside jump shot. They need to get to the basket.
Unlike the JV team where they went inside the whole night. There's a 3 on the way. It is no good. Thomas with the rebound and Bloomington North looking to push. Venzel. Chris Thomas.
Beautiful pass.
And Bloomington North on the board. Nice pass from Ethan Venzel.
Excellent job to identify the cutting Thomas to the basket, who kind of was just about to get into position, so kind of a forward-thinking pass in a way, and just excellent job by Thomas to adapt on the fly and then get the bucket.
And there is a bucket for Cayman Hayes, his 5th point of the night. And then you see Chris Thomas take another tumble to the floor. Mentioned the flagrant foul that Austin Schwartz of Edgewood committed. Schwartz was ejected for the Bloomington North game and was unavailable for their game last Saturday against Bedford North Lawrence, in which Edgewood fell to the Stars in that game. So Chris Thomas at the line, moved over from Bloomington South halfway through the season. As you mentioned on the broadcast, adds fuel to that rivalry, and he's certainly not going to be the last player to probably move from one school to the other. It's been done several times before and probably going to happen more often again.
That's what happens when you have 2 high schools in such close vicinity.
That are basically same in enrollment, and you know, it's a
and were once the same school.
Yes. And everything stayed over with South in terms of the name and the colors as Braden Eddington hit the 3. It is a 12-4 lead for Terre Haute North.
And it looks like Coach Spear is going to ride this out for the entire first quarter.
Last year, he started the seniors, and he actually finished with the seniors against New Albany as well. As Ethan Venzel gets it back out to Kobe Davis, throws up a runner, a lot of contact, no call. And here comes Terre Haute North. And Dunnigan can't get it. Sykes with the rebound, put back, and will go to the line.
Interesting they called the foul on that second shot. I thought there was more foul contact on the first shot, but regardless, huge opportunity for the Patriots. They can get out as far ahead as possible and make Bloomington North keep up the entire game.
Sykes with 5. And interesting, you saw a little transition from Terre Haute North in that possession. 15-4, approaching a minute to go already in the first quarter. Barron, Thomas for 3, no good. Long rebound, and here comes the run out. Dunnigan up ahead, and finishing is Braden Eddington.
Thomas just a little late on that closeout, and that it ended up leading to a foul and an and one at that.
So Braden Eddington at the line, 5'11" senior. He's got 5 so far. He had 15 in the championship game of the Wabash Valley Classic against Linton.
As I mentioned, as an opposing senior, you love to ruin another team's senior night.
And there's a lot of seniors on this Terre Haute North team who'd love to do that. As that's going to be a foul on the Patriots. That will be on Eddington. That's his first and the team's third. And you're going to see Makai Johnson, number 33, into the game, and 40 Dalton Sturm into the game for Terre Haute North. Approaching 30 seconds to go in this first quarter, and it looks like Bloomington North going to go for one.
Smart idea, especially if you're playing out the entire first quarter.
Coach
Go
Spear,
ahead and get the last shot.
Coach Spear going to ride this out. Interesting to see what he'll do to start the second quarter. If he starts bringing in, it looks like he's going to get Isaac Fensel ready to go here. As Davis fires a three and he hits it. And that will do it for the first quarter. Terre Haute North in control, 18-7 on Smithville Sports.
Smithville has been providing communications to South Central Indiana for nearly 100 years. Offering internet at gigabit speeds to entire communities, Smithville is the gigabit company. Your connection needs to be fast, reliable, and secure. You need an internet and communications provider who delivers. You need Smithville. Visit smithville.com today and find out what Smithville can do for you.
As we welcome you back, there is Todd Wolfley, the coach of Terre Haute North. His team up 18-7 here against Bloomington North as we start the second quarter. Glad you could join us for our final regular season broadcast here on Smithville Sports alongside Quinn Saturday. I am Nick Jenkinson, and Quinn, so far Jason Spear left those seniors in, but now you see all 5 seniors going out and the new 5 coming in for Bloomington North.
I just wanted to go down to that last play of the first quarter, which ended up being huge as Kobe Davis sank that 3. I feel like that was a little bit of a miscoaching by Todd Wolfley, telling it Eddington was right on Davis and was not letting him get anything. Did not give enough, basically by calling him off, did not give enough respect for Davis, and with that open room was able to sink the 3, make an 11-point game as now the starters are in, and in comes Isaac Venzel.
In comes Isaac Venzel, and he's able to score immediately. Isaac Venzel comes in averaging 14.6 a game. Now here is Terre Haute North. This is Eddington for 3, and he nails it. Second 3 of the night.
Definitely will need to keep, Bloomington North will need to have somebody on him at basically at all times.
Tim Brewster is 13, and it's a foul on Terre Haute North. That is on Michael Dunnigan, his second. And now Caleb Baggett, number 10, checks in for Terre Haute North as Dunnigan will sit. There is a bad pass and a foul by Isaac Venzel as Eddington was going to the basket.
And that was an excellent job of shielding the ball a little bit with his body, keeping it just out of range so that Isaac Venzel would have to foul him if he wanted to try to block it.
And Eddington will go to the line. Jeremiah Blair, Aaron Steinfeld, and Nick Kleiber are all in the game for the Cougars. Eddington hits that one. He's in double figures now with 10.
Already more than the Cougars.
As he's got one more, and it is good. He's up to 11. 23-9 for Terre Haute North. Kleiber, Venzel, Isaac Venzel to Brewster. to Blair. To Kleiber. Wenzel. Going to drive. Short. Steinfeld the rebound. And a foul on Terre Haute North.
What's interesting about seeing this lineup is that considering with the seniors graduating, we're looking at basically not any fantastic freshmen coming in, notwithstanding their starting lineup next season.
Yeah, I agree. As Brewster missed that one, Steinfeld, the shot too strong. Sturm with the rebound. Yeah, they only lose one starter next year in Chris Thomas. And all these guys that are on the floor presently are back. And like you said, this is probably the starting lineup next year for this Cougar ball club. There is Hayes, missed, and then he gets it back and assist to Dalton Sturm.
That was just excellent awareness to immediately with the rebound. Whenever you get the rebound, you need to keep it above your head until you are ready to advance, because if you keep it down low, it can be knocked away very easily.
Isaac Wenzel inside, too strong. Steinfeld the rebound and foul. So Aaron Steinfeld's going to go to the line. Steinfeld on the season is 70%, average is 6.6. He's really come on here in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, scored double digits against Edgewood. Was a force that we've talked about it all season when we covered Edgewood. Edgewood doesn't really have a true post presence. Coleman Sater has done an excellent job as filling that part, but against a true post player, they struggle, and Steinfeld really took advantage of that in that game.
Yeah. As he misses that one, and Isaac Wenzel can't get it to finish. Second chance rebound, and it will stay with Bloomington North. Steinfeld, 12 points, 9 rebounds in that game against Edgewood, and they could not stop him inside at all. As ref checking Dalton Sturm to make sure he's okay. Now Cougars will inbound it. Down by 15. Kleiber gets it to Blair. Brewster gonna fire a long three. It is off. Steinfeld can't hang on to it, and it is Terre Haute North ball.
Yeah, would have been better off not trying to go for the ball, but you like that for you to fight for the ball. Just an unfortunate mistake.
And they're gonna, Eddington is taken away. Here's Brewster, and it's gonna be a foul on the Patriots. As looks like they're gonna call, I think it's Makai Johnson. It is. It'll be his second and the team's 8th already for Terre Haute North. As Tim Brewster at the line.
He's 75% on the season.
10.4 points a game. North on the season, 74% from the line.
You talk about the deterioration of the free throws, but it's nice seeing a team shoot above 70%, shooting around 75%. Some people incorrectly say that you should make every single free throw, but that's not true. If you're hitting at least 3/4 of them, though, then I think that's passable.
If you're 70% or above, I think that's where you want to be. Some probably say 75. I think 70 is about the range you want to be at. They're going to get Tim Brewster for the foul. That's his first, team's 6th. And this will be Caleb Baggett at the line, 5'9" junior for Terre Haute North. Well, they're not.
Yeah, very interesting enough. While Bloomington North did start an all-senior lineup, so did Terre Haute North, but that's just their normal starting lineup.
And Terre Haute North has a lot of seniors on this team, and they're going to have a lot to replace next season. As Bloomington North JV was victorious tonight handily, as that's a block or foul, as Steinfeld thought he had a clean block. That is the first on Steinfeld, team 7th. Baggett now at the line. That was last one was just a out of bounds play.
Both teams are in the bonus now.
And he is not able to get that. He will have one more. Patriots in control so far. And then there was a lot of contact between Sturm and Blair, and they're going to get Blair. And that will.
And you always hate that whenever you foul on a missed free throw, because you're basically giving them a third free throw attempt free of charge.
As Sturm's at the line, 6'4" junior. And he gets that one to go.
Only this time, because you're on the one-on-one, get to spend it even more.
And this is where I think Terre Haute North wants to be. You want to be on the line, especially because you're a team that doesn't push the tempo a lot. So if you can get to the line as much as possible and knock these down, you're in good shape. Although Sturm misses that one, and it's still a 14-point lead. Wenzel. Blair gonna shoot, miss, Baggett with the rebound. And again, Coach Wolfley, as you can tell, has his hands up saying, slow down. 14, D'Avion Oliver for Terre Haute North in the game. Tompkins going to hit a 3.
No, they're going to count that as a 2.
It's a 2. He was inside the line. So it's a 2 for Tompkins. He's got 4. Approaching 4 to go. Kleiber. Nice play by Kleiber.
Just able to get enough separation on the drive to get a clean look at the basket.
7.4 points a game as a freshman for Kleiber, who's done a really good job running this team.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Spears got 3 more years of Kleiber running the point for him. As Baggett threw it out of bounds as Eddington cut too soon.
And that credited a lot to Brewster, really bothering Eddington at this point, doing an excellent job. He's been silent since that really hot start.
We are at 3.5 to go. Kleiber, Brewster. Kleiber gonna fire it off the mark. Blair with the rebound, kicks it out to Wenzel. Wenzel cuts, but it's gonna be a foul before the shot.
Yeah, that's a very easily missable foul because Isaac Wenzel just shrugged it off.
Yeah, Isaac Wenzel, leading scorer on this team. 3 players average double figures for Bloomington North. Wenzel leads the way at 14.6, and then it's Thomas at 11.4, Brewster at 10.4. Jason Spear has kept these guys in this whole second quarter. Has not brought the seniors back in yet. Or has not at least brought Chris Thomas back in yet. Loose ball. Finally picked up by the Cougars. Blair Kleiber drops it off. Steinfeld can't finish.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity.
A big missed opportunity for Aaron Steinfeld. Baggett. Taken away by Brewster. And then Oliver knocks it away. It will be Bloomington North ball.
You got to give a lot of credit to the Patriots defense. They have done an excellent job of getting back in transition. One time can be considered a fluke, 2 times is a trend.
As we got a full timeout called by Bloomington North. They've got 3 remaining, and Terre Haute North has all 5.
All things considered, it's a 12-point game at the moment. They had cut it down to 11 right before the first quarter. So we knew they were going to be in a hole. Coach Spear probably knew he was going to be in a hole for this rest of the game. So it's all about chipping away probably at the moment. Probably fans are probably a little anxious because Terre Haute North is continuing to fluctuate with having a double-digit lead. But this is going to be have a long game approach to it. Going to have to whittle it down one by one. The goal right now for Bloomington North is to get this down to about 7 or 8 before half.
Yeah, Bloomington North, when they are trailing at the half, they are 4-3 on the season. When they lead, they are 9-0. So this is something they definitely want to cut this lead down. They are accustomed, though, to coming from behind, as we've mentioned. Steinfeld will inbound. Gets it to Isaac Venzel. Kleiber nails it. He's got 4.
They're giving Kleiber a lot of space, and so he's gonna need to make those shots.
Kleiber's been in double figures 4 times this season. Isaac Venzel weighs the way with 12 games in double figures. Hayes with it for Terre Haute North.
Wide open.
They had Sykes underneath, didn't see him.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication. That was a little bit of a slip from Steinfeld. Did not follow the rolling big.
Hayes step back, no good. Brewster the rebound, up ahead. He doesn't have the numbers, but he's just going to take it himself and score.
Brewster is very fearless when going to the basket. This team in general is very fearless, both him and Isaac Venzel. Very tough to stop when going downhill.
Brewster's at the line. He's had 9 games this season in double figures.
I mentioned both of those players. Both of them have over 65 free throw attempts on the season.
Coming into the night, 235 for 317 for 74% as Brewster nails that free throw, and this lead is cut to 7. Like you mentioned, they want to get it in under 10. Chipping away. Terre Haute North. They're going to work as we approach a minute and a half, but it's knocked away.
Oh, that was a bad pass.
Bad pass by Steinfeld. Kleiber just too far out of Kleiber's reach. Now Hayes. To Brewster. Or guarded by Brewster. Sturm with it. To Eddington. Bloomington North not giving an inch defensively. Under a minute to go. Eddington. Spin move. Nice shot. No good. Rebound Steinfeld.
They've done an excellent job of keeping in front.
Here is Brewster. Gets it to Steinfeld, baseline jumper, nails it.
Patriots lost sight of him. He was wide open.
Lead is cut to 5. Hayes, double team. This is Tompkins. Back to Hayes. Oliver.
Looks like they're going to hold for one last shot.
Do you expect Terre Haute North to do? Sturm underneath against Steinfeld. He blocked him. Got to get rid of it. There's Venzel at the horn, and he nails it. This lead is cut to 4 to 3 as Isaac Venzel scores at the buzzer. What a
Excellent
play.
job of Wenzel to get out in transition, recognizing how much time was on the clock.
As we look at the highlights, Bloomington, Terre Haute North got a start, but there is the senior Chris Thomas scoring inside. And then Terre Haute North chipping away as Shelby Sykes scores. Braden Eddington finishes. Kobe Davis, the senior, drills the three. Good passing out to Eddington for the three. Kleiber scores. And he scores again, his 4th point for the freshman. Brewster inside. And then look at this, Steinfeld just up ahead to Wenzel. Nails it before the horn as we're at halftime. Terre Haute North 28, Bloomington North 25 on Smithville Sports.
No trip to Bloomington is complete without some great food. And what better way to satisfy a sweet tooth than with some ice cream? And that's why we're at the Chocolate Mousse.
My name is Jordan Davis. I'm the general manager. I kind of oversee our operations here at our downtown Bloomington store, our Nashville store, as well as all the events and wholesale that we do. We started in 1933 as Maze Cafe. It was a restaurant. They started to make their own frozen custard and realized that that was where they were making their money, and you know they could just do that a lot easier. So in 1955, Doran May, whose dad EJ, he built the stand in the parking lot, named it the Penguin, and just took off from there. Doran had a manager who he allowed to kind of franchised out, and he opened a few Penguins, actually. The guy was just ruining the brand and running the place really into the ground. So Doran bought it back from him. And whenever he purchased back the company, the guy tried to get it, being like, oh, well, you have to pay me for the name of the Penguin, too. And Doran just said, I'll just call it something else. They were brainstorming after the whole Penguin debacle. Somebody had said the name the Chocolate Mousse. And they go, you know what? I like that. Let's go with it. It's definitely helped us because it gives us a lot of opportunities with branding and everything, because who doesn't love a little cartoon moose licking its lips? We had to move into the new location because the landowner, Doran May, he had decided that it was time to move on, and he was getting up there in years and just sold the property, and the developers decided it would be best used in the capacity that is now, so we just had to kind of go with it and make the best out of it, but it's really worked out. When it comes to the ice cream though, it's the same. It's still made in Bloomington, it's still 14% butterfat. It's the same, quality product we were serving in the stand and before that, so nothing's changed with the ice cream. So we have about 20 regular ice creams that we make. Those are all the 14% butterfat homemade ice cream, like hard pack, that we're known for. We also make 6 vegan varieties though. Those are all made with coconut milk. The community's really taken a liking to those, and it's not just vegan people, it's just those that are lactose intolerant, or people that are like the idea of, oh yeah, strawberry with coconut milk, that sounds, pretty good, and it is. We do a lot of things at the Chocolate Mousse besides just ice cream. We've always been known for our Spanish burgers since the 50s. We just recently added like a turkey pesto sandwich, a chicken sour croissant, our breakfast sandwiches, as I mentioned earlier. Now we have a full coffee menu with like chai lattes, flat whites, Americanos, lattes, frappes, you name it. We work with local roasters, Brown County Coffee, so we have a really good local product that we're serving. There's quite a bit you can get besides ice cream with the Chocolate Mousse.
So I'm sitting down here with Jordan here at the Chocolate Mousse. Now, Jordan, what do we have here in front of us?
So we have a ham, egg, and cheese croissant, which is something we just started doing recently. And then we have a 24-ounce caramel frappe.
I'm going for a bite here.
I'm jealous for you right now.
really good. The ham is the star of this sandwich. Very fresh, very tender. It's not very chewy like a lot of hams out there. Kind of just melts in your mouth a little bit. Let's try it. Better than Starbucks. Better than Starbucks. The caramel shines here. Nice and creamy. Kind of tastes just like coffee ice cream. I don't know, but it's a frappe. It's very good. Enjoy it.
Sweet. Yeah, glad you like it, man.
Yeah. So we're back and we have ice cream now, the bread and butter of the chocolate mousse. Now Jordan, what flavors do we have here?
So I have 2 cups of ice cream here. Over here we have our vegan ice cream. We have vegan grasshopper and vegan chocolate. They're both coconut milk based. Wanted to give you an opportunity to try those. And then over here we have the full diesel 14% butter fat. On top here we have our apple butter. We have a donut ice cream where we work locally with Crescent Donut, which if you know Bloomington, you know Crescent Donut. And then we have our Lucky Guy mint brownie. We really like to work with other local companies and just help each other thrive. So I figured instead of bringing out here Grasshopper, or, Brown County Coffee, or some of our most popular staples, I'd give you some of our kind of out there seasonals to try, because a lot of people don't know we have them.
It's really refreshing, the mint. Well, first of all, you get the coconut. That's the first thing that I tasted. Then the mint. And lastly, the chocolate from the Oreo. And finally, the cream. The creamy bits from the Oreos. Not getting much of the coconut, but a lot of the chocolate. It's very chocolatey, and the coconut has that, it's kind of like an undertone, which complements the chocolate quite nicely, I have to say. All right, so let's move on to the 14% butter fat.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let me just go ahead and try it. I'm getting some spices. I think is the cinnamon.
Yeah.
The butter is very prevalent. The apple is very subtle.
Yeah.
And the spices really shine. It kind of just reminds you of like fall, kind of like a fall pie, which is very good because I love pie. You're right. The first thing is just the glazing.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, the texture is kind of like the inside of a donut. I don't know if that's weird to say. It's just kind of like very soft and melts in your mouth like a good donut would.
Yeah.
The first thing I get is the chocolate and the mint together. It's kind of different from the vegan one where the mint was more, like the most prevalent. But this is just a nice duo of the chocolate and the mint.
I think it all starts with just having a quality product. If you don't have a quality product, you're not going to go back to the place. And I think the chocolate mousse it's been its longevity. It's the nostalgia to it and just what it means to people that they went to here as a kid and, got this from the penguin or got this from the chocolate mousse, depending on how old they are, and their kids get to come in and experience the same thing. We like to think that if you think of Bloomington and your IU experience or your experience coming to Bloomington or living in Bloomington, that chocolate mousse is, one of the first memories you have. Just because, everybody has a favorite ice cream shop, and when it comes to Bloomington, that's us, or we like to think so. Come by and see us at 7 a.m. till 11 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday we open a little later at 8 a.m. and go until 11 p.m. and then Sunday is 10 a.m. until 11 p.m.
As we welcome you back, excitement here at Bloomington North as the Cougar Special Olympians and their friends, and a big shot at the end the halftime show as you see all the kids out there on the floor, and it's a great, they did this at halftime of the JV game and the varsity. An awesome thing is the North Band plays the school fight song, so what a great job by all these young men and women here.
And I just want to break down that buzzer beater because it was an excellent job. It was a classic ISO one-on-one with the defender, and then was able to use a screen right in the post to get right to the bucket and then hit it off the glass. Excellent, excellent job.
As we are here at halftime, it is Bloomington North trailing Terre Haute North 28-25. Glad you could join us for our final regular season broadcast here on Smithville Sports. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Quinn Saturday. Well, Terre Haute North led 18-7 at the end of the first quarter, but Bloomington North used an 18-10 second quarter to trail by 3.
Yeah, it was actually a 12-point lead for Terre Haute North with about 2.5 minutes left, which quickly shrank to 3. So they went from actually having a larger lead than what they started off with to start the second quarter to it being a one-possession game. You got to give a lot of credit to Bloomington North. They knew that they were going to have to fight back after giving the first quarter to the seniors. Well-deserved first quarter as well. We got to see them shine as well. And then Coach Spear, using hockey lineup tactics, shifts in an entire new 5 and then leaves them in for an entire quarter.
So the question is, did he bring the seniors back in for the third quarter, or does he kind of go back to the normal starting lineup?
No, the real question is, does he make a substitution in the middle of a quarter?
That's another guess as well. So as we're looking at the scoring for the first half for Bloomington North, Isaac Vinsel leads the way with 6. Tim Brewster with 5. Nick Kleiber and Chris Thomas with 4 apiece. Aaron Steinfeld and Kobe Davis 8 apiece. Bloomington North hit just 1 3. That was Davis in the first quarter. 8 of 9 from the foul line. For Terre Haute North, Braden Ennington with 11. And then it's Cayman Hayes and Shelby Sykes with 5 apiece. Aaron Tompkins with 4 and Dalton Sturm with 3 for Terre Haute North. As you see, Chris Thomas, who just took a ball to the head as he in the second half. Again, these two teams 1 and 2 in Conference Indiana, along with Southport. Bloomington North next week plays at Columbus North next Friday. Then they will have Floyd Central at home next Saturday. Floyd Central led by Indiana State signee Kobe Barnes, and then they will close it out with New Albany on the road. And of course, as we know, no more Romeo Langford, no more Sean East for New Albany. So it's a much different New Albany team than Bloomington North's been accustomed to here the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very different feel to that game. And especially with how improved Bloomington North has been, I expect a really good and close game as well.
We do have a score to pass along from across town at Bloomington South. At the half, Columbus North leads Bloomington South 31-23 at halftime. And then I just saw, have you heard of Luke Brown from Blackford? He's a sophomore sensation. He's averaging over 30 points a game.
Oh, yeah.
In Indiana. He's a sophomore, and he's just taken the state by storm. He plays for Blackford High School, which is in Hartford City. It's about a half hour north of Muncie. He just scored. He drilled a 3 to go over 1,000 points tonight in his career, and that's in 32 games. He's the quickest to go to over 1,000 points.
Yeah, I remember reading an article about him and the youngest Blackman both being potential contenders for Damon Bailey's record.
Yeah, Damon Bailey from Bedford North Lawrence, the all-time state leading scorer in Indiana high school history. Romeo Langford, who was just the 4th player to go over 3,000 points in the career, came up a little bit short last year. Also, Deshaun Thomas tried from Fort Wayne Lures a few years ago, and then Marion Pierce from Louisville had the record back in the 60s. So congratulations to Luke Brown from Blackford going over 1,000 tonight. Jalen Blackman did it earlier this week for Marion. So we're back to action here. It's Bloomington North with the ball. Venzel into Blair. It's now the original, what is the normal starting lineup for Bloomington North. I should clarify that, normal starting lineup. As Eddington has it for Terre Haute North. Tompkins is number 12. Dunnigan back after 2 fouls, held scoreless in the first half.
And I want to see the Patriots establish Eddington. They got away from him, and he was very quiet for the last 5 minutes of that half.
And now that's 3 on Dunnigan, as that's an offensive foul. That is major for Terre Haute North.
And it looks like Coach Wolfley is going to keep him in and trust him to not pick up a 4th foul. So if I'm Bloomington North, I immediately want to go towards him.
Trevor Taylor from Edgewood, he fouled out in the early 4th quarter of the game against Bloomington North was called for a offensive foul on a charge after picking up a technical in the 3rd for jawing with Chris Thomas too much. That game again very chippy. Bloomington North won it by 10. But that was a very intense game, as it's been the last 2 years. Taken away by the Cougars. Here's Isaac Venzel. Nick Kleiber. And now Venzel goes down.
Looks like he grabbed his ankle.
And grabbing his ankle, the training staff. Great shot by our camera crew, right by Nate Alarcon right there to catch Isaac Venzel on the ground, as the training staff here taking a look at Isaac Venzel. And it has gotten very quiet in here, as I think everybody's hoping that he is going to be able to continue. We're going to, Kobe Davis will come back in, as Venzel doesn't look like he's too bad. So he'll get checked out on the sidelines. So
Davis has already been a big contributor. Like I said, that 3 at the end of the 1st quarter was huge, making it an 11-point game. The difference between a 14 and 11-point game, you wouldn't think isn't that big, but it was absolutely huge, because it turned a blowout into just a big deficit.
3-point lead for Terre Haute North. Here is Thomas to tie it, and he does.
I mean, if you're gonna leave him open, he's a big man who can shoot the 3. That's not an odd concept now in 2019.
He hit 50. He's had 15, his 16th 3 of the season. Chris Thomas.
Coming off the 28-point game against Edgewood.
Also scored in double figures against Whiteland 2 days later. Cougars won that one by 3 on the road. This is Hayes, guarded by Blair. Into Sykes. Baseline shot is good for Sykes.
And Sykes needs to, was also quiet for a little bit, and will need to get himself reestablished.
Davis in the corner for 3 and got it. North up, Bloomington North up by 1. I'm so accustomed to saying North, I've got to differentiate tonight.
Or you could just say North.
That's true, but be a little bit confusing. Yeah. Here is Dunnigan with his first 2 of the night. Nice reverse layup.
And Coach Wolfley keeping him in, already paying dividends.
That's a travel on Brewster. Now here comes Aaron Steinfeld back in, as Thomas will sit. I think this is a good move for Bloomington North. Steinfeld establishing himself, I think, is like a 6th man now.
And he's definitely, as we mentioned, likely the starter for the Cougars next season. Really starting to fit into that role, and an excellent job by Spear as we're nearing the end, the later part of the season, getting those players accustomed to it, as that is a huge three by Dunnigan.
Dunnigan heats up now his 5th point of the night, and it's a 4-point Terre Haute North lead. Steinfeld to Blair inside. It's going to be a foul before the shot, and it's going to go on Eddington.
That's going to be the second one for him.
Second on Eddington, team's second. Blair to inbound, Kleiber. Inside Blair, and it's going to be another foul on Terre Haute North. They're going to get Tompkins this time.
Actually, they're going to call on Eddington. He drove in to try to sneak the ball out of Blair's hands as he had it by his hip, but ended up hitting his hand. And so back-to-back fouls, and now all of a sudden, one of your best players went from having one foul to being in foul trouble.
Eddington's got 3 as that was on him. Blair with the offensive rebound, and it's going to be Tompkins this time as he thought he had the clean block on Blair.
And the ref probably had a better angle than I did, but I can see why Tompkins was questioning it.
Jeremiah Blair Jr. has not scored tonight until now. Blair at the line is 66%, 8.8 points a game coming into tonight.
Blair has definitely improved. You talk about players just improving from year to year. He's definitely improved a lot coming to this year. He's become more of a scorer. He's always done a lot of the little things. He's always been a good rebounder. He's always been a good defender. This year, though, he has done an excellent job in terms of growing more as a scorer.
He'll sit, and Chris Thomas will come back in. 2-point lead for Terre Haute North, approaching 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. Eddington to Hayes, to Tompkins, Dunnigan, to Sykes. Everybody touching the ball for Terre Haute North on this possession. Dunnigan 3, his second 3 of the night. He's got 8 points on this quarter.
He's single-handedly keeping the Patriots out in front.
He was scoreless in the first half after picking up 2 fouls as Kleiber goes to the basket for his 6th point.
A miscommunication on a screen and just a wide open lane for Kleiber. And Coach Wolfley was not happy about that.
They're going to, that is Hayes, misses it. Steinfeld saves it, but into the hands of Eddington, although there's a travel on Eddington, and Coach Wolfley not happy with that one.
It's a small thing. When you immediately get the ball, you're used to already having set up a dribble, but when you have that ball, you need to dribble immediately, because if you take one step, boom, that's a travel.
So, Cougars with the ball. There's Kobe Davis, no good. Dunnigan with the rebound. Right at the 2-minute mark. Looks like Terre Haute North going to hold to their average. Coming in tonight, they average 59.5.
Another thing is that the pace was starting to go Bloomington North's way, and we're seeing right now the Patriots trying to slow it down a little bit, get it back into their pace.
Terre Haute North more of a half-court offense. There is Hayes, gets the bounce. His 7th point of the night. Lead is 5. Kobe Davis. Steinfeld. Isaac Fensel. Steinfeld to Davis. Trying to get the screen from Thomas. Does, but can't get the shot off. Thomas gonna fire it and nail it.
That was excellent heads-up play by Davis, just to set that, kind of just stop in the middle of his transition. Notice that Thomas is right behind him. Set that screen, just give him just a tiny bit of separation to let him launch that 3.
Thomas in double figures now with 10. That is the 11th time this season Thomas has scored in double figures. And they're going to call a foul That's going to be Chris Thomas, his second, and Blair and Brewster are going to come in. Steinfeld Davis go out. Dalton Sturm comes back in for Terre Haute North, and Sykes will sit. 2-point lead for the Patriots. Be curious now with, of course, the pressure. Curious to see if Terre Haute North tries to work it for just one shot.
Yeah, they tried doing that at the end of the half, but ended up giving about like 3 seconds left, and that's a good call.
They're going to call Venzel for the foul.
As a former, I don't want to say someone who used to taking hits on the basketball court, I can tell that Venzel embellished that one just a little bit.
You definitely see more of the acting jobs come into play now.
He was definitely hit, though. There was contact, but it was embellished a little bit as we're again, see if the Patriots can actually hold for one.
Sturm gonna get it around Blair and nail it. And that's gonna do it. Brewster's shot will not count. We're gonna go to the fourth quarter, 42-38 Terre Haute North on Smithville Sports.
Whether you need an awesome wrap for your truck, a new look for your sports car, or simply some great window tinting, Van Horn has you covered. Need accessories like step bars, bug shields, or toolboxes? Or how about a neon clock for the garage or den? Van Horn can take care of it. With years of experience, Van Horn gives you the professional look with the quality you deserve. Stop by our shop in Ellettsville, the large building behind McDonald's, or give us a call at 812-876-2230. You can also visit our website at vanhorn1.com. Van Horn Tent and Accessories, the place for your custom vehicle needs.
Welcome back to Bloomington High School North as you see Jason Spear encouraging his team. They trail 42-38 as we begin the fourth quarter here at the Cougar Den. Glad you could join us for the final game of the regular season here, our final broadcast. Alongside Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkinson. We do have an update from Bloomington South. It is tied at 54 between Bloomington South and Columbus North with 3:39 left to go. If Bloomington South wins, they are the Conference Indiana champions. If Columbus North wins, then Columbus North in the driver's seat next week when Bloomington North travels over to Columbus, which, of course, that's always a storyline because Columbus North is where Jason Spear coached before he came here to Bloomington North.
Actually, due to tiebreakers, Columbus North will have already will clinch at least a share of it tonight if they do win.
So we will keep you updated on that as Brewster is fouled. That is on Dunnigan, and that's 4 on Dunnigan. That's huge for Terre Haute North.
Yeah, he was carrying the Patriots in that third quarter.
Tim Brewster at the line. He's got 5 tonight, make it 6.
Brewster, as always, he has nights where he scores a lot, but he's always someone who's able to contribute in some way. Most of the time, it's through his defense. Probably the best defender on this team. Does an excellent job of getting the Cougars out in transition with ball causing turnovers.
Missed the second one tonight. 4 of 5 at the line for Brewster. Bloomington North, I have a feeling Bloomington North is not going to let Terre Haute North try to stall. Here's a steal, Chris Thomas. Stop and pop, in and out. Rebounded by Johnson. Caleb Baggett in the game as well for Terre Haute North. He wears number 10. Dalton Sturm gets it to Baggett to Davion Oliver. Now Coach Wolfley wants a timeout.
Excellent timeout. That position was going nowhere.
30-second timeout. Well, while we have a minute, Quinn, this is our final regular season broadcast, and we want to take a minute to thank all our crew for everything they've done throughout the high school football and basketball season. We have Catherine Jankowski, Nate Alarcon, Clemente Tirado on the cameras, Rob Ramsey, our director, Nadir Noon doing our replays, Jeremy Nutter doing scores, you and I doing commentary. Also want to thank Annette Bruner and Ethan Tashida for everything that they've done behind the scenes. You and I have been doing this for a while, man, and it just gets better and better every year we get to do this.
I definitely feel like this was probably our best year yet, just in terms of the quality that we've been able to give on a night-to-night basis. And I'm also very happy that it's coincided with 2 successful seasons for both Bloomington North and Edgewood.
Yeah, it's been a great year of both successful seasons for Bloomington North and Edgewood. The draw is coming up February the 17th. Also thank Darby and Colin McCarty, because without them, none of this would be possible, for giving us the opportunities and doing what we love to do each and every time. So we thank them very much, and we thank all our crew for everything that they have done. And can't wait to go again next year. Football comes in the fall. Isaac Venzel drives and scores.
Just think, we got 2 more years of Isaac Venzel as well.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That sophomore class around here is great. Trevor Taylor's a sophomore. Coleman Sater's a sophomore.
I mean, I just think of the sophomore class for the entire state of Indiana, because you also got
Luke Brown, Jalen Blackman
yeah.
from Marion. Oh, it's going to be quite a class. Chris Thomas in and out on the 3. As Cayman Hayes, Thomas gets called for the fouls. Hayes drives to the basket.
just a little early on that attempt.
That's
to block
3
it.
on Thomas. Girls regionals are tomorrow. Bloomington South made the girls regionals. They will play Castle in the second game down there. Center Grove and Bedford North Lawrence in the first game. You'll have IU signee Jory Allen for Bedford North Lawrence. Addie Blackwell for Bloomington South going to Southern Indiana. You also have Jessica Nungy from Castle, brother Jackson, Iowa. She's a Florida State volleyball commit. So that's gonna be a fun regional tomorrow. So it's coming down to the wire. Boys, 2 more weeks of the regular season for boys, and then it's tournament time. Brewster.
Oh, the rim has been unkind these last couple possessions. And Blair with a bit of a frustration foul.
And Blair commits the foul. His second, team's 4th. As Terre Haute North needs somebody to go and bound the ball. Hayes will go over there.
And we've kind of just listfully stayed in this this 1 to 5 point range here. Bloomington North is going to need to have someone step up and get some consecutive stops.
Stern misses it, and it's going to be an over the back on Makai Johnson. 3rd, team's 6th.
Which is huge because that put a good free throw shooting team in Bloomington North on the line for the rest of the game.
As missed by Bloomington North. Just got an update. It's gone to overtime. Bloomington South leads Columbus North 68-67 with 1:23 left. So free basketball over there on the south side of Bloomington tonight. Steinfeld with his second. Ennington comes in, Baggett goes out. 5 minutes to go here. Terre Haute North leads by 3, and then Brewster commits the foul on Hayes.
He was able to poke at the ball, but unfortunately wasn't a clean poke.
So that's the second on Brewster. Terre Haute North has controlled the pace.
Oh, that was a hard screen right there.
That was Johnson setting the screen. Eddington, who has not scored in the second half, gets it inside the Sturm, and he scores. 5-point lead for Terre Haute North, taken away by the Patriots. Now poked away by Bloomington North. Kleiber blocked. Last touch by the Patriots, Cougar basketball.
I'm Coach Spear. I call a timeout because the offense just seems discombobulated at the moment for the Cougars. It started with some bad rim outs, but right now they're just kind of just like shooting up shots that none of them have really been set, or they tried to get set and then something went wrong and they still forced it anyway.
No call by the officials. A lot of contact there. Isaac Venzel, and it's foul on Terre Haute North.
That's going to be the fourth on Eddington.
That's huge for Terre Haute North because you've got Eddington and Dunnigan with 4 apiece. Johnson has 3. Brewster gets it to go. Lead is cut to 4. Now the official talking to Jeremiah Blair. Caleb Baggett's going to come in. Eddington's going to go out. I don't think it's going to be long before Eddington goes back in. They will need him down the stretch. Brewster misses it. Hayes with the rebound. Now it will be Hayes bringing it up against Brewster. Stern. Guarded by Blair. Gets it to Hayes. Gonna throw up the shot, no good. Batted by Steinfeld. Here's Blair on the run out. Can't handle it, it's got to throw it back. And it is Isaac Venzel recovers. Brewster 3. Got it!
The broken play, there seems to be an accuracy bonus on those kind of shots whenever you have a team hustle like that. It's like a video game cheat. If you over hustle consistently and get an open shot, you got a 50% better chance of making it.
They call Tim Brewster for the foul. That is his 3rd. Jason Spear arguing or letting the official voice or know his displeasure with it. As Eddington comes in and so does Sykes. Stern and Oliver go out. Dunnigan is still on the bench. Baggett's at the line for Terre Haute North. And he's got 2 tonight, 2 of 4 from the line, and he misses it. Venzel with it. Venzel fouled before the shot. That's going to go on Hayes. That's his 3rd. Coach's warning on, he's going to call it coach's warning on Terre Haute North. I think for being out of the box.
And Venzel, a little bit of a dangerous play to just go ahead running like that. He's an excellent driver and is able to contort his body, absorb contact, and get to the basket. But that had no chance of going in, so he was very lucky to have drawn the foul.
As Venzel's at the line. He's got 8 tonight, and he misses that. Tapped around, and it is recovered by Terre Haute North.
There's like this glass wall at this 1-point deficit thing where they just can't take the lead from Terre Haute North.
Hayes got away with a shove off against Venzel. No call. And now Coach Wolfley is going to call a full timeout with 3:03. So we get a chance to catch our breath here for just a minute. What a game it's come down to, 46-45 with Terre Haute North in the lead as Bloomington South leads 70-67 with 27.9 left in overtime. That's the latest score we have. So you see Terre Haute North looking at their remaining schedule. They're in Teutopolis, Illinois tomorrow. They have West Vigo next Tuesday, Indianapolis Howell next Thursday, at Evansville Harrison next Saturday, at Southport and at Lafayette Jeff to close out their regular season. Their sectional is Brownsburg, Mooresville, Plainfield, Avon, Terre Haute South. Bloomington North at Columbus North next Friday, Floyd Central here next Saturday, and then New Albany in 2 weeks. Their sectional, Bloomington South, Shelbyville, Columbus East, Bloomington South, East Central, Columbus North. That sectional will be at Columbus North this season, and that's going to be a tough sectional with Bloomington South, Bloomington North, Columbus North all having good seasons. So we get high school seasons coming down to the wire here. This one's coming down the wire. Winner tonight moves into third in the Conference Indiana standings behind Bloomington South and Columbus North. Now you see the pressure from Terre Haute North, or from Bloomington North, as it's a 1-point lead. Double teams now on the ball. Fensel the interception. 1-on-3. Blocked, and Fensel hits the wall hard. He's able to bounce back. Dunnigan back in. He's got 4. And that is it for Dunnigan.
That was an excellent job by Blair. Just knew immediately what Dunnigan was going to try to do and got into position.
He will foul out with 8 points, all in the third quarter. And Davion Oliver is going to come back in for Terre Haute North. So a huge hurt for Terre Haute North with Dunnigan out of this game. Then some moisture getting cleaned up here on the floor. Also, the series between these two teams goes back to 2000. Bloomington North won 5 straight. They lead 7-2. They won both regional meetings. Last time Terre Haute North won was 2013. So the Cougars looking for 6 straight in this series. Terre Haute North trying to end it. Brewster to Venzel.
Venzel's trying to get away to find a lane.
Blair, and 1. Cougars on top.
I mentioned just earlier this half how Blair has evolved as an offensive player, using his strength right there to get a second, third opportunity and get the foul.
As Blair, that's on Makai Johnson. And Blair at the line, he's got 4, and he can't get that one to go.
Well, we already see Bloomington North finally get past that threshold, that invisible glass wall, and have the lead.
Cougars up 1, 47-46. Hayes, nice bounce pass. Sykes gets fouled as he can't get it to go.
That was just excellent hesitation by Sykes. Able to, you see that a lot in the high school level with players overcommitting to trying to block shots or to get out of defense. Very easy to do, pump fakes are very easy to get players out of position.
1:36 to go, 47-46 with 1:36 to go. What a game to close it out here for the rest of our high school season. Again, we thank all our crew for everything that they do. As you know, what do you think happens here down the stretch? Now the Cougars have that 1-point lead. They've trailed most of this, you know.
Yeah, in the third quarter they did take a slight lead, but it was immediately taken back by the Patriots. So right now, the big thing, and this lead might not last very long because Sykes is going to line and could possibly get the lead back or at least tie it up for the Patriots. Right now, You have to set up your offense and find the best possible open shot. Do not force things.
Sykes misses that foul shot. He's got one more. And he misses both. Wenzel with the rebound. Minute and a half to go. Kleiber to Wenzel. Eddington tries to swipe it. Wenzel gets it to Kleiber. Underneath Blair. A lot of contact, no call. Sykes comes away with it.
That was a good possession, just a very unfortunate contact.
Eddington gets Brewster off his feet and scores.
He's been silent since the second quarter. What a way to reintroduce himself into the game.
First points of the second half for Eddington. 1 point lead, Terre Haute North. Wenzel fouled. Goes to the line for two.
Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of players put their hands on top of their heads as soon as they foul Isaac Wenzel.
Cayman Hayes with his fourth foul. So you have Johnson, Eddington, and Hayes all with four. Dunnigan's already fouled out. Wenzel hits that one. We are tied at 48.
Wenzel is 75% free throw shooter, leads the team in both makes and attempts.
61 of 81 coming into tonight. And he gets them both. And Bloomington North's ahead by one. Now, Terre Haute North with it. Oliver, guarded by Wenzel.
Eddington is open in the corner. Kleiber has the assignment right now.
And they're going to work it around. Eddington comes off the screen and he can't get the shot off.
Yeah, he had that opportunity. He just wasn't ready for it.
Coach
Wolfe is calling a timeout, saying, "Why didn't you take that shot immediately? You were wide open."
So it will be a full timeout with 25.1.
That was such a missed opportunity because Kleiber got caught in the screen perfectly, and Eddington just. It was a great job by Kleiber to recover from it, but there was enough time for Eddington to have taken off a shot.
Oh, absolutely. He had the chance. You see Coach Wolfe in the huddle. Been there at Terre Haute North 11 years, 6 winning seasons, 2 sectional titles in 2011 and 2012. Terre Haute North as a school, 20 sectional titles, 6 regional titles. Their last sectional title was 2012. They haven't won a regional since 1999. Bloomington North, 16 sectional titles, last coming in 2014, along with they made the semi-state that year, losing to Indianapolis Tech, won 6 regional, 2 semi-states in 97 and 2000, and then they won the 97 state championship, beating Delta, and then losing in the state finals to Marion in 2000. So here we go, 25.1. Do you think Terre Haute North holds it for one?
We've had the same situation happen at the end of the second and the end of the third.
Eddington Hayes for the lead, off the mark. Foul, and they're gonna call it on Terre Haute North.
They had a good look, just wasn't able to get down, and then a scrum underneath the basket. And right now these are huge free throws for Steinfeld. He's a 70% free throw shooter on the season, but has only attempted 30 of them on the year.
Aaron Steinfeld at the line. He is 1 of 2 from the line tonight, and he does not get that one. Sykes with his third foul. 1 more for Steinfeld. And he misses both. Here we go, 13 seconds. Hayes gonna get it up court. Gonna go to the basket, lay it up and in.
And an immediate timeout by Coach Spear. That's an excellent job.
Excellent play by Hayes to get to the basket.
And who would have thought Hayes at the beginning of the game was the one who initially took that opening tip right to the basket. And if this ends up being the game winner, how poetic that he again took it to the basket, but this time he made it.
50-49, Terre Haute North on top, 5.5 to go. It will be Bloomington North ball. But they're probably going to have to go the length of the court. Now you've got 5 capable guys for Bloomington North that can get the basketball. Who do you go to in this situation?
It's got to be either Wenzel or Brewster. Brewster has a knack for hitting really tough, long shots, and I just don't. If they were at the half court, I would say Wenzel because he's able to either draw contact or score around the basket. But if you're looking at trying to get a 3, Brewster has been very clutch recently from the 3-point range.
It's going to be very interesting to see and how Terre Haute North does the pressure as well. So here we go, 5.5 left.
But also, keep an eye out for Kleiber. They have kind of played off of him quite a bit. He's had a couple of chances where he's been open, and plus he's the inbounder as well.
Coach Wolfley sees the setup and calls his 30-second timeout with 5.5 left. So this is, he wanted to see how they were going to come out in the line, so he got the timeout. And now it's just kind of a chess game at this point of how they're going to do this. I think each team still has 1 timeout remaining, so we may see another timeout come after this one. But what a game this has been. We hope that you've enjoyed senior night here for Bloomington North, although they will have one more home game next Saturday against Floyd Central before they close it out. Edgewood off tonight. They will play at Orleans tomorrow. I did see Trevor Taylor in here earlier watching the game. So here we go. Steinfeld gets it to Kleiber. Kleiber's going to go the distance, throw it up, no good. And that's it. He can't get it off. Terre Haute North wins by 1.
Yeah, excellent job. Again, keep the rebound. You got to hold it up. Don't let it go to your waist.
As there is the highlights. Cayman Hayes gets a big bucket there. He scores all 8, and he hits Dunnigan hits the big 3. Then there is Kleiber. Chris Thomas with the 3. Wenzel to the basket. Hayes gets it to Sturm. And then you see Brewster hit the big 3. Blair can't get it, gets his own putback. As this is Cayman Hayes, a big one. As this will do it, Terre Haute North wins 50-49. We thank for all the hardworking women and men. For my partner, Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkinson. We thank you for watching tonight and throughout the entire football and basketball season. And good night from Bloomington North.